All right, what up? It's Shankster94, and welcome to my 29th monthly Q&A. I am your host, the Gamer Shankster, also known as Shankster94. This is a great place for you guys to ask questions, receive answers, communicate with each other, and witness the occasional troll get smashed. I haven't seen Pitiful Comment Wars in years, so I'm not going to say that anymore. All right, so of course I'm gonna have a guest going on this Q&A. Usual contender, number one zombie killer, Feargale the Fearless. What's up, man? I need to hold on. I need to set your audio output. Um, okay. Now try again.
Good to be here.
There you go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
They'll hear you now. All right. So let's see who we got here besides you, of course, Feargale. We got CJ. Awesome. Oh, he's at the top of the chat. He said he won't be able to make this one, but at least he was able to pop in right at the top. Manu Carrot Man, also formerly known as Manu Castilla. What's up? Eldest Boat D15. What's up? And Feargale, he put actually something in because we were setting up. And Beatrix. Elda. All right. What's up? All right, so we're going. I intended this one to be a typical 2-hour Q&A. The last one went very well, and I didn't have much catch-up to do since there was no Sea of Blue. So, yeah, I'm willing to go 2 hours on this one with Feargale. And remember, because Feargale's in here with me, feel free to ask him questions too. Any question that's not directed at me specifically, we're both going to answer. Anyway, so, all right. Manicaraman, your YouTube name changed there too. Yep. All right. Well, no official question yet, so I'll hold off on starting the timer. But yeah, remember.
Don't mind me and don't mind my twitches. I kind of had quite the day at work.
Oh man.
So if you see my eyes blinking like crazy or my head jolting a bit, that's just me kind of being a bit. That's kind of the after stress.
Good to know. All right. Waiting for questions. This is the only way I would consider the Q&As like to be bad still, is if they're too slow. Yeah. No one asked anything, so the Q&A lasts forever. Yeah, that would be funny. I mean, I think actually there was actually one time where I said if I don't see any questions within like 5 minutes, I'm gonna cancel the Q&A. So that will happen if we have no activity.
Hey, Hellmaster.
Hey, Hellmaster, sweet. I mean, Fairgale, even though you're a guest starring, if you yourself have any questions, what's cool is you might as well, you can just ask them right on the stream, and I can answer then and there. If you have,
What? Just say them to you?
yeah. Instead of
Really?
having it, unless you want to type it out, it's up to you. Just letting you know, it's doable.
Well, if you want me to ask you them myself, sure I'll do that.
All right. Well, it looks like we do got an official question finally from Eldest Boat, so I'll go ahead and start that timer now. What are our thoughts on the Resident Evil movie trailer? He knows I answered it in Discord, but you want to get Q&A question here. Perfect. That's good. So my conclusion of the trailer so far, I am definitely excited for it because it does look like it's going to be a lot more dedicated to the source material than the Paul W.S. Anderson series was. So I am excited for that. One of my only gripes about it right now is I do not like the look of Leon. It looks like they merged Carlos from Resident Evil 3 with Leon. And I do not like that. I do not regard Leon as a scruffy guy whatsoever. So, I do not like the direction they took with that one. That's all I really have to say about it thus far. Not too much. I mean, we only have like one, maybe a couple trailers right now. So, there's still plenty of room to speculate. But, so, overall, I have good praise for it right now. What about you, Fairgale?
So, regarding the cast, I actually recognized a few faces. I thought I would only recognize Robbie Amell and Avon Jogia. I recognized Avon from Victorious, and I also recognized Robbie because he played as Fred Jones in the Cartoon Network live action Scooby Doo movies.
Ah, okay.
And then the woman playing as Claire. Sorry, my dad's peeking in on me. I don't know why. The woman playing as Claire, Kaya. Oh, thanks. Kaya Scodelario. I actually recognized her from Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, okay.
Now, here are my gripes for the movie. So there's actually a couple people missing from. There's actually a couple people, or so as far as I'm concerned, there's only a couple characters missing from the movie: Marvin and Rebecca.
I see.
If
Okay.
you look in the IMDb cast list, you'll find there's no listing for Marvin or Rebecca.
But is there a listing for Barry Burton?
Actually, I think there is. Whoops. I believe there is. Looking up right now.
While you're doing that, I could probably answer the next question from Manu Carrotman. All right, favorite music tracks in Resident Evil. Across the whole franchise, it's kind of hard to say. It is a little vague, but I do know tracks that I really enjoy include The Code is Veronica from Resident Evil Code Veronica. It's basically the theme you hear near the end when Steve just died or something like that. Another one I really like is the final boss theme for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis and Resident Evil 3 Remake, for that matter. Basically the final fight against Nemesis. I like a lot of final themes, it seems. It's the best I could really answer at that point.
For my favorite track, it would have to be obviously the Resident Evil 2 save room theme, the OG Resident Evil 2.
Awesome.
And yeah, I just looked at the cast for the movie. Yeah, Barry's missing too.
Okay. So no Barry, Rebecca.
So yeah, I'm not really liking. So yeah, now it's become a major gripe. We got a few critical characters missing.
Damn. All right. Next, Helma. Hey, X Alucard. Manu, do you ever look at actual stats, such as damage or health values, for anything on Resident Evil, besides stats shown in game? Every once in a while, I'll go looking up statistics, like on websites or whatnot, but not very much myself, personally. Feargale, do you ever look at actual stats such as damage or health values for anything besides
when looking on the wiki?
Maybe. I mean, he's asking besides stats shown in game, so that's what I would presume.
I don't know really. Never look at actual stats. Well, I mean, I look at statistics. I look at statistics for weapons based on damage. Yeah, guess I do. But that's only at the same time when I want to look at weapons.
Right. X Alucard, thoughts on Billy? Needs to make a comeback somehow. Like, it's like I realized I think there was a close call, like on one of the recent medias, of Resident Evil, but no, nothing concrete. And still nothing like even reporting wise on his whereabouts and status. So, in my opinion, you could literally.
Oh shit!
Wow, dude.
Oh, I'm hiding him.
I already did.
Crazy son of
Anyway.
a bitch.
Anyway, what was the question, damn it? Thoughts on Bill? Yeah, he could totally make a comeback. And does. Alright. Wyatt, it's clearly you're here, and I only have one thing to say to you, man. If you're gonna be persistent, and you're gonna be the dickish troll that you always been, and try to get me in trouble, like expose me, something, you are trash at it, dude. So far, you haven't done anything. It's like, and I'm just going to block you and smash you like every other troll that's come about. You are now one of those trolls, undeniably. You've always been. I just gave you a pass because you gave me financial support. That's all you are to me at this point, is a troll who never cared about my well-being and only cared about yourself, quite honestly.
And guess what? Your sister Desi is more than happy to kick your ass if you keep messing around with Shank.
Oh, yeah.
She told me herself.
Honestly, you're the only person, Wyatt, who I would even, like, be remotely, like, nervous about knowing where my address is. But even then, got plenty of people here and support. Be pretty stupid if you flew across the country just to mess with me. So, yeah. So, yeah, revealing my address for a brief second, honestly, I don't see much harm in what you just did. Clearly just a troll. Alright. Let's move on. Love my Discord because we got a lot of people in there who agree that you are a real piece of shit, man.
Damn straight.
Alright. Manu, what are the odds, in my opinion, of Capcom making a Resident Evil 0 remake someday? I would welcome it just as much as Resident Evil Remake in the RE engine, honestly.
Somebody actually asked me a question earlier before that whole ordeal. My thoughts, eldest Bode. I noticed. We completely brain farted about it because of that whole ordeal. But yes, I'm very, very excited for Horizon Forbidden West. I'm very excited. I'm planning on pre-ordering the game.
Horizon Forbidden West. Oh, man.
It's the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay. Yeah, of course, I personally don't know anything about those games. Alright. Aaron Williams, hey, haven't seen you in a bit. Got some bad news. You can't really stick around for this Q&A because your grandma just passed away a few days ago, so you're at a funeral service right now, and you got to support my family. Oh my gosh, man. I am so sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
I give my regards. And yeah, man, I'm happy you just tuned in for a second. That's all I ask about anybody, honestly. All right, man.
Family comes first.
Yeah. Manu, I was supposed to destroy the trolls, not join them. It was very brief. I'm done. Aaron, but you will ask a quick question. If we could go back in time, what would be the one thing we would do? You'll see us next Q&A. If I can go back in time, what would the one thing I would do? Not associate with Wyatt. Quite honest right now. Alright, Manu, you heard a depressing theory on Billy, is that since he just walked away to the forest, he got himself killed after the game. That is probably a very common speculation, considering you never hear from him again, and he did go off on his own. Yeah, you never know. He could have got mauled literally seconds after.
I didn't answer Aaron's.
My bad.
I didn't answer Aaron's question. If I could go back in time, I would probably would have had more. Probably would have stuck with playing with Lego Star Wars sets. Because if I did, I'd have more sets than ever before. Can't really think of anything important, really.
Nice. Eldispo015 with the near $10 super chat. Love my content. Thank you very much, man, for that super chat. Very appreciated. All right. Condolences, Aaron. Yep. Hellmaster221. Can't ask any questions right now. You have to kill some flies and then clean up their corpses. Oh man. Manu, if we could have a superpower of our choosing, what would it be? This has definitely been asked very early on in the Q&As, but no matter. I probably, let me see, the ability to see everything in super slow motion. Yeah, basically kind of like the Flash, more or less, but not be able to move necessarily fast. Just be able to perceive everything in slow motion.
I forgot to say that I actually asked a question earlier. Do you think it'll get easier recording full play videos once you get into Resident Evil 4 and beyond?
For a little while, yeah, it actually will become easier because the more modern games are pretty straightforward, just chapter based. The only way to play it multiple times is to show off maybe the different difficulty modes and the unlocks. But yeah. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss any other questions because I realized why I missed that question because that's when douchebag popped in. Manny was like, "All right, if the movie doesn't have any Jill sandwich, then it's an instant bust."
Well, as far as we're concerned, Barry's missing, so it seems like that joke's not gonna be happening.
So, Fairgo, did you just answer Eldest Boat's question towards you? I think you did.
Yes,
right?
I did.
Okay. Okay, sweet. All right, if I could have, or no, you would say Wesker Africa Johnson. Intelligence, super speed, super strength, and dodging bullets. There you go.
Basically Matrix.
All right, Fairgale. Have I ever heard of a colibri pistol? It has the lowest caliber ammo and is the smallest commercially released pistol. No, I haven't heard of it.
I say commercially with a question mark because I'm not so sure if this was like, I mean, I don't know if it became like popular. I doubt it did because it's infamous for having terrible ammo.
Mm-hmm. All right. If a real zombie outbreak were to happen, do I think it would be contained quickly by governments or would it take over the world? Today's day and age, I would hope it would get contained quickly by governments. Yeah. It's like, look at this coronavirus like pandemic right now. I mean, it's still active, but we did get a vaccine somewhat out within a year. So, not too bad. All right, Manu, wait, what about you, Fairgale? Do you think a zombie outbreak, if it were to happen in the real world, would it be quickly contained, or do you think it would take over the world?
Honestly, given how terrible our government is nowadays, I think it would take over the world.
Okie dokie.
Actually, that would be perfect. Actually, I know the perfect question I'll ask next.
All right. So Manu, if we became a BOW, what virus infection type would we prefer getting infected by? That's a good one because there are some viruses better than others, that's for sure. I probably would go with the A virus from Vendetta. Actually. Yep. What about you, Fairgo?
I'm sorry, I'm blacking out. I can't.
That's okay.
I just got something in the mail. What was it?
What virus infection type would you prefer getting infected by if you became a BOW?
G virus. I'd wreak some real havoc.
All right. Also, Manu, what do you think ended up happening to be a different to be... What do you think ended up happening to the different samurai edges in canon? Since Stars was disbanded, I wonder if they all just went away, you know, it got discontinued and just ends up in someone's desk or under someone's pillow or something. Honestly. Have an opinion, Fairgale, on what may have happened to all the samurai edges in the canon?
I would say all of them except for Jill's samurai edge made it out of Raccoon City.
Okay.
I think the rest of the samurai edges, actually no, both Jill's and Wesker's, because Wesker still has his samurai had his samurai edge. Both his and Jill's samurai edge would make it out of the city, but the rest would be destroyed.
There you go. Yeah, that makes most sense. Okay, the fat gamer. People will be like,
Hey,
zombies
fat
are human
gamer.
too. Eldest, do you think it depends on how it's transmitted? If it was via air, then it would take over the world, but if it was just bites, it could be contained. Would be contained. Yeah, probably. Alright, Feargale, if Oswald Spencer was a real person, what do I think he would have to say about the current state of our world? Probably not far different than what he was spouting in the franchise, honestly. It's like maybe he probably would have something to say about the current world governments and stuff, and it's like would want to like take over something himself. Claim that it's all for the better good. All right. Hellmaster221, to both of us, what would we do a voice in a Resident Evil game? If so, who would we voice and what line would it be? Let's see. Who would we do a voice? If so, who would we voice and what line would it be? It's like I don't think I can voice any of the established characters now. So it would have to be a brand new character. So that being said, I can't really answer the last half of the question.
I would either voice Ethan or Chris. As a matter of fact, now that you mention it, on my channel I actually have a voice demo of me reenacting the conversation between Heisenberg and Ethan when Ethan reaches the factory. It's on my the voice demo is on my channel if you want to see it, Hellmaster.
Definitely might be worth checking out. All right. Yeah, Barry's Samurai Edge survived, Manu mentioned. Yeah, that's true in Rev 2. Sup AG22. Good seeing you, man. All right, Eldest Bo. You see Leon using the TMP instead of the handgun in RE4 Ada's separate ways. Do you think that means he actually uses other weapons in the story canonically? Where does he keep them? Yeah, that's another bit of like little Resident Evil inconsistence that I've noticed. But yeah, you're right. There's that lone cutscene where he's actually using a TMP. So, it's good. It's good to think about. AG22, favorite song at the moment? Like in general, like not Resident Evil, I presume. It's definitely Save Your Tears from The Weeknd. Yeah.
I don't really have much of a favorite song at the moment. I have a lot of favorites.
All right. Also, favorite movie we recently watched. Favorite movie recently watched. Man.
Scarface. I've watched that movie like 4 times.
Man, I haven't watched too many movies recently. I almost answered your question in terms of like a recent movie, not that I recently watched, but so it could really be any movie that I recently watched, regardless of the year it came out, I suppose. So with that in mind, fudge. Jaws. Recently watched Jaws. All right, Manu, could we imagine a real-life meeting with all of our Discord regulars cosplaying as different Resident Evil characters? How cool do you think that would be? That would be pretty epic, actually. I
Oh,
think.
hell yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, Discord's gonna get featured in a live stream in the future. Like, with how much fun I've been having with it since I recreated it, and sharing mutual thoughts about tons of things, yeah, it's one of the best things I ever made. And I'm so glad it exists now. Because, yeah. Alright. Let's see. Hellmaster, you'll take a look into it after the Q&A for Gil. If we could dress as a Resident Evil character, who would it be? The first person I would try cosplaying as immediately would be Chris Redfield, if I got the gear and everything. There you go.
I tried making my hair look like Leon's, but I don't have my head doesn't have the bone structure to support it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
If I had to, I'd be dressing up as Leon.
All right, eldest, or no, hold on. Yeah, eldest boat. Maybe he carries a briefcase like the inventory screen. Leon in Resident Evil 4. AG22, most overrated movie in our opinion. Most overrated movie. God. Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Avatar as well.
Movie you think is underrated? The first original Mortal Kombat movie?
Would have to say Joker.
Eldest Boat, would we rather never eat our favorite food again, or never drink your favorite drink again? I would rather never drink my favorite drink again.
I would never drink my favorite drink again.
All right. AG22, have either of us watched the new Venom movie? Nope.
Neither have I.
Manu, if we attempted to beat any Resident Evil game knife only and handgun only respectively, which game would it be? Doesn't have to be the same game for both. So the only Resident Evil game I would attempt a knife only is Resident Evil Code Veronica. A game that I would attempt handgun only, I've actually done that several times with many games. My favorite one to do it in, though, probably Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question? I'm sorry. I'm so winded from work right now.
It's okay.
Out of it. Plus, I just recently got these cool little
oh my
brick
gosh.
arms in the mail.
Oh man.
Right now.
That little silence pistol.
Yeah, silencer attached to it.
That's awesome, man. All right. So the question was, if you attempted to beat any Resident Evil game knife only and handgun only, respectively, which game would it be? So name a game you would do a knife only run on. Name a game you would do a handgun only run on.
In terms of knife only,
yeah.
Given the fact that the Karambit knife in Resident Evil 8 actually is much more powerful than the regular knife, I would actually give myself a fair chance at going through the whole game with the knife only. The Karambit knife, not the regular knife. The regular knife's shitty.
And then a game you would do a handgun only run.
Probably Resident Evil 5?
5. All right. Eldest Boat, the Venom movie was good. Good to know. AG22, what shirts are we both wearing? I am wearing just a Disney theme shirt. Has Mickey Mouse on it. So yeah.
I'm wearing a vintage I'm wearing a vintage Star Wars shirt.
Hey. There you go. All right. Oh, I can see the chat live here. Participating in No Shave November. um, Originally, I probably would have attempted it. Don't know if it's gonna happen now, as it was an idea by Wyatt. But uh, since I've done an experiment like that myself for a whole 10 months, not just one, probably wouldn't mind giving it a go. And just see how I end up after just 1 month. You know, Wyatt, if you're still interested, just know I could put your address on here too, because I know it too. I was very tempted earlier. I was just gonna put it on the screen for as long as mine was on the screen to give you equal karma. That's what I feel like doing right now, honestly. But I'm trying very hard not to sink to your horrible level, because there's nothing beneficial about what you do. Candy corn. Let's see. Hellmaster, if we could reenact a melee move from Resident Evil 5, what would it be? Oh, it would either be the haymaker or the backhand from Chris, and for me, definitely, it's those are my favorite moves.
For me, it would be a tie between Sheva's double fang kill move and Barry's gun bash. Because obviously Barry's gun bash melee move is probably my favorite just because of the name alone. It's hilarious. Literally bashes an enemy with his gun, which is hilarious.
Yep, exactly. Alrighty. Let's see. Keep losing my space. AG22 plans for Halloween. Okay, so normally I would usually do like a Q&A with my hair spiked up and wearing shades to do just something Halloween themed for the YouTube channel. Not sure if that's gonna happen this year. I hate bringing his name up multiple times already, but again, that was a Wyatt thing, trying to celebrate holidays during Q&As. He wanted me to make sure that I reserve Halloween for a fucking Q&A this year. Can you believe that?
Yeah, the nerve on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nerve on him.
Anyway, my plans for Halloween, personally, me and my girlfriend Jen are going to do stuff. I actually ordered my costume just yesterday. It's a scarecrow. It's a killer scarecrow outfit. Let me show you guys real quick, actually, since I'm pretty sure I have it pulled up here. Yep, I do. Okay, can you go to it, please? Give me 1 second. Takes me a little bit to pull it up. There we go. Alright, check this out, guys.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah. So, that's what,
nice. Comes with a hook.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure if it comes with a hook, actually. But anyway, that's what I'm going for. Alrighty. Favorite Resident Evil villain? Africa Johnson asks. Or wait. First, Fear Gale, do you have any plans for Halloween? Unless you already answered, I forgot.
I'm just going to sit around, eat some candy, eat whatever leftover candy that is not used.
There you go. It's typically what I would do, because I wasn't very participatory in Halloween most of my life. I actually fairly enjoyed handing out candy, like on Halloween night, and then eat the rest of it. Okay, but anyway, now to answer your question, Africa Johnson, favorite Resident Evil villain? Albert Wesker, for sure.
Same here. No, same here. There's no other villain perfect than Wesker.
It's like Wesker is so villainous that he's good.
He takes after Spencer very much.
Yeah, right. All right, AG22, candy corn opinions. You personally don't like it. You know what's funny is I really do like candy corn, but my girlfriend Jen doesn't.
Yeah, I don't like candy corn either.
Wow, a lot of I guess you have to be a special person to like candy corn. I do hear quite a few people don't like it. It tastes like a modified like chocolate candy or something like that. I don't know how to describe it, but I always found it fascinating. All right, I am actually falling behind again, which is funny. Oh, shh. Okay, Eldest Boat, do you prefer the traditional controller controls for Resident Evil 4 or the Wii's motion realistic aiming? Me personally, I've been playing the game a lot more on controllers than the Wiimote. I've only played through Resident Evil on the Wii version maybe a couple times ever, so I didn't get that much time with it. So that being said, I'm maybe slightly biased with that question, and I do prefer the controller.
Same here. I would prefer the controller as well.
Yeah.
And if the option's available, mouse.
Manu Carrotman, thoughts on a stealth-oriented Resident Evil title? A stealth-oriented? That seems too tactical for my liking. Yeah.
And we kind of had that when we play as Ada in Resident Evil 6.
Right. Isn't there like there's something we just went over recently that we discovered we have to sneak around. Oh, Revelations 2, of course. There's a lot of sneaking when you're playing fucking what is it? Besides
Revenant.
What's more Nevigani's thing again? God damn.
The struggle.
The struggle. Thank you. Gosh. Yeah, in the struggle you have to sneak around a little bit in there. All right. Funny. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Nice shirts, by the way, G. Thank you. Fairgale, do you think the Ada in 4 was actually Carla? No.
Well, you sure about that? Because I don't think
sure
Ada would
about that.
ever work for someone as evil as Wesker.
No one knows Ada's intentions, to be honest.
Well, then that
She's always been shady. It's like she's not a saint. I already know that. Like, but I wouldn't consider her evil though either.
Well, that would lead me to my next question.
AG22 asked you directly a question, Fairgale. What GTA games have you played?
I only played I played a little bit of like San Andreas 5 and Vice City.
San Andreas.
I'm not really a GTA fan though. Plus I don't exactly like Rockstar games because they sadly are under the influence of the awful Take-Two Interactive.
I'm like the same way too. The only GTA games I've ever played are San Andreas 4 and 5. I'm just looking for something on my phone. Sorry, just checking something on my phone. Okay, yeah. All right, Manu. Oh, this was just references to Fiasco earlier. Funny addresses were mentioned because he was fiddling around in Google Maps for fun last night. Hellmaster221. If we could reenact melee moves from Resident Evil 6, what would it be? From 6? I really love Leon's judo kick, his coup de grace in 6.
Yeah,
so
same here.
I would do that one. Ugh. Just the way he holds his leg up after the impact. He's like, what?
Yeah, whenever I'm doing melee moves as Leon, I make those noises.
All right. Manu, hardest to execute melee move we think we don't have the ability of pulling off in real life. Oh, easy. Sheva's somersault.
Josh's suplex.
It's like it's either that or it's Jill's flip kick, because like they're very nimble. Even though Jill has the enhancement of a virus in her, and even though Sheva just has very good like agility and whatnot, I think it's ridiculous what they are able to pull off just willy nilly. All right, so yeah, that's my answer. Let's. Oh yeah, you said the suplex. Eldispo, that scarecrow's cool that I showed off. Thank you. I'm glad you approve. Hellmaster, speaking of Halloween, your old costume is Dr. Salvador. Oh boy. You just need a white t-shirt with suspenders, brown jeans, and a brown paper bag and a chainsaw. You know what's funny, Hellmaster? I think your message originally was hidden because you accidentally put white t-shit.
Oh. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I had to show it because it was blocked.
That's hilarious. I didn't even see that.
All right, Manu, note, don't dress as a crow near Shankster. Oh boy. Yeah, because you'll get slaughtered. Eldest Boat, if we had to fight any Resident Evil protagonist hand to hand, no weapons, who would it be? Rebecca Chambers. If you had to fight any protagonist, Feargale, hand to hand with no weapons, who would you?
Right.
Yeah, who would you fight against? Everyone knows why I chose Rebecca.
Probably Ethan.
Ethan, yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be a fair. Well, I mean, it'd be more of a fair fight because he can sort of. I mean, even though he would feel the punches, he would easily recover from them.
Right. I see what you mean. I went with the easy option. AG22, Thanksgiving plans. Not really. Not yet, anyway. If my family calls me out, I'll go see that. Christmas plans, pretty much more of the same right now.
Me and my family are going to be going on vacation Thanksgiving. Planning on having a party Christmas Eve.
There you go. Josh Cool 124. Yo, what's up? So anyway, you guess your question is, what is our favorite fast food place and the favorite item to order? As of now, it's my local In-N-Out, and my favorite thing to order is the 4x4 plain. It's a quadruple cheeseburger.
I don't know. I mean, it would be Arby's, having the 5-piece with curly fries.
There you go. All right. Let's see. Africa Johnson, least favorite Resident Evil gameplay wise. Like you're being specific. Okay. Gameplay wise, my least favorite Resident Evil game. It's like, see, Umbrella Corps is my overall least favorite in the entire franchise. I actually haven't played that game. I've seen the gameplay of it. It looks a little wonky, but I wouldn't call it my least favorite gameplay style. No, it is probably Resident Evil Gaiden then. That top-down, side-scrolling stuff, that belongs with platformer titles, not Resident Evil game.
Same here. That's Gaiden's my least favorite as well.
There you
There's a good reason why that game's non-canon.
Hey, just noticed at the bottom, key elements reporting. What's up, man? Glad you could make it and pop in, Trey. Yo, Trey, just a little report that you could understand a little bit. Freaking asshole Wyatt popped in again, and he fucking put my address on the stream for a few seconds. Not that much could happen with that, in my opinion. I better look that up, maybe. It's like, what can someone do with your home address? It's like, other than come to you, really? What can they do with an address? People put in the comments if you want. I'm not that worried about it. But so why yeah. Yeah, agreed. Shankster. Okay, Manu. So this is to me specifically. Have I seen that one Resident Evil 5 Wesker outtakes video you posted some time ago? Did I see that one before? If you never like linked me or forwarded it to me, then most likely no. It's like something I want people to understand, and I hope it doesn't disappoint people, but I don't tend to look at the channels that subscribe to me very much. Like look back and see what you're all about. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. So yeah, chances are I haven't seen any of your content. I've seen a piece from Firgo, of course, because he like forwarded it to me, and I've seen a few things from other people like who have subscribed to me in the past. But yeah, if you're recommending something, forward me a link somewhere, and I'll definitely check it out. All right, Fat Game. Okay, so make that for Fear. So yeah, make it for Firgo too. He did put after the fact.
Yes, I did. I actually saw it as well. I thought it was pretty fun.
All right. Fat Gamer. Here's a good question. Why is my channel only about Resident Evil? So it keeps things simple for me in content creating, sticking to one game franchise, rather multiple franchise with infinite possibilities, and it's like people will be asking left and right, when am I going to do this or that if I have a bunch of franchises I'm covering? So I'm keeping it to only one franchise, and because I made it very clear from the beginning of this channel that I am a huge Resident Evil fan, and I'm going to do primarily Resident Evil gameplay. So I've been saying it since the very beginning, and I'm sticking to it. Is the more concrete reason. If I ever expand, it'll just be on a different channel. Firgal. Do I think Ada Wong is a hero, villain, or anti-hero? Okay. I never regard her as a villain. So at worst, she is an anti-hero. I feel like she jumps between hero and anti-hero constantly, depending on what her mission is. I want to say. That's what I would say. I'm just looking at the bottom. Manu had an answer to that whole address thing. Imagine if posting the address backfires because I get some good subscribers to give me a surprise spirited visit. That would be interesting. Just one thing about me in general to know, though, I do not like surprise visits. So it wouldn't work out really that way. As long as you're not Wyatt, though, then it probably won't be a problem. All right, AG22. Rank these pizza places: Pizza Hut, Domino's, Little Caesars, and Papa John's. Awesome. Okay. From least to most favorite, I would say... Like, I like Little Caesars just because with how cheap they are, you get what you pay for. It is a cheap pizza. It tastes horrible after just a day. But I've had it a lot more than Papa John's and Pizza Hut combined. So it's like there's some bias in here, but here's my ultimate ranking. Papa John's is on bottom, then Pizza Hut, then Little Caesars, then finally Domino's. Domino's is the best out of all of those for me. Yeah. But
For me, my most favorite would have to be Pizza Hut.
Your most favorite is Pizza Hut?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had the other three?
Yeah, but not enough times.
Okay. Well, it's like, could you possibly rank them in order? Like from... It's like in your case, from most to least favorite.
I think Little Caesars would have to be my least favorite.
Okay, that's understandable. So Little Caesars, bottom, Pizza We can move on. Beergale, specifically from Eldest Boat. Have you played any Lego video games? And if so, what's your favorite?
I played a ton. I played a ton of them. I played Lego Star Wars 1, 2, Complete Saga, Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, Batman. I think my favorite one might have to be Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars.
There you go. Alright, I'm just moving you over because I noticed that you were going into the chat a little bit. Alright. Okay, Fairgale. Do I like the Karambit knife most as a melee weapon? Out of all the melee weapons in the franchise, no. It's not my favorite melee weapon.
No, even with how powerful it is.
No, it's like, while firepower is a very important statistic for me when it comes to the weapons, it's not always to say it's why it's my favorite. In this case, I really like the stun rod and the hammer from Resident Evil Outbreak, and the fact that you can create them with David.
Okay.
Yeah. Have either of us watched South Park? Yeah. I have definitely seen a good amount of it. I never watched it regularly. I've just caught episodes here and there as I grew up. And if so, which favorite character? Cartman. Cartman. All right. Fear what's your favorite character from South Park?
Oh, I said I never watched South Park.
Oh, I never watched South Park.
But I know Cartman is probably a fan favorite because of the crazy shit he says.
Yeah. All right, Hellmaster. Oh, really? You hate typing quickly? You still need to kill flies. I unfortunately forgot already what was that in reference to.
Oh, he was killing a bunch of Hellmaster was killing a bunch of flies.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of course. AG22, best horror movie we've ever watched. Best horror movie. Wow. For me, it's the original Halloween.
For me, it might have to be the original Nightmare on Elm Street. The first.
Great. It's a great one. Alright. Hello, Silent Pain. You're not too late. We still got over an hour in this Q&A. So, yeah, rock on. Best horror movie. And key elements popped in. Manu, thoughts on the idea of mods for RE8 to make it Star Wars themed when using the lightsaber? Dimitrescu as Darth Vader sounds hilarious. Well, considering they already have the LZ answer in there, it wouldn't be too far-fetched.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even need to modify that. You could just use that. I would be open to seeing someone do that easily. Think that would be a good idea, Fairgale?
I mean, Vader as Dimitrescu, that'd be kind of silly. Like, Vader's tall, but he's not that tall.
Alright. Let's see. Also... here we go. Eldispo, if a new Marvel vs. Capcom game came out, which Resident Evil character would you think is likely to be added? At this point, man. Like, they need to put Leon in it if they do that. Maybe Ethan or Mia from 7 or 8, respectively. Not sure what... Yeah.
I would say Leon.
Leon's, like, besides who we already seen, he's, like, one of the few people who could still do it. Because you gotta realize Marvel vs. Capcom is a fighting game, essentially. And if the character is not too combat combat oriented, then they're not gonna do well in that game. So yeah, I scratched Mia. Yeah, Leon is the only person I can think of at the top. Maybe Joe Baker from the DLC in 7. That would be fun, honestly, with his AMCs.
What about Sheva?
AMGs, I meant. Sheva would be applicable.
Oh, Wesker.
Wesker was already in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate, for that matter.
Okay. That would make sense.
Yeah, I'm naming besides people who've been in it already, so that includes Chris, Wesker, and Jill.
Where was Jill featured?
She was featured in DLC for Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So there you go. Yeah, that's who would want to be added. Key elements. Did we see the Welcome to Raccoon City trailer? I definitely did,
Yes.
and I shared my opinions in my Discord. So if anyone's wondering if I'm gonna do like a reaction on YouTube to that, the answer is no, because it's movie content, and I do not feature movie content on this channel, not directly anyway. So, because I want to avoid the copyright strikes as long as I can. I have a really good record. All right. Where Silent Pain, can you send a bomb to someone's physical mail or something if you have their address? I highly doubt I would hope something like that wouldn't make it through the carrier service. It's like they have to inspect packages, right? It's like otherwise people would be dying left and right from exploding mailboxes. So, no. Now, that is like the worst thing people can do is send me hate mail, basically. Hate snail mail, which would be funny. Or just a package full of shit. That's like the worst I would expect. I know. Just know, Wyatt, I mean, it's clear you can't send me a package. I don't know if you can send me a package anonymously. If I receive anything from you to this day, I'm just gonna toss it in the trash before I even open it. It's obviously not worth it. Have we? Okay. That's the worst thing you can imagine. Yeah, makes sense. Manu, imagine if posting the address backfires because... Oh, I already said that. AG22, last question from you. Which scary movie... The parody funny movies he's talking about, the scary movies, is the best? It's really close between the first and second for me. It's like the second one just has this type of humor that's so... Oh my gosh. I'm going with number 2. Honestly, Scary Movie 2 is the funniest and the best.
I never watched any of them.
Oh man. Okay. Do you like parodies of stuff?
Ironically, I really never watched any parodies.
Okay.
I mean, I watch parodies of stuff on YouTube, but I never watched like theatrical parodies.
Right. So obviously the scary movies are just parodies of the of multiple horror movies. Like each movie references like up to 5 different scary movies or something like that. But yeah, if that's something you're not really into, then it's perfectly fine that you've never seen those movies. It may actually not even be your boat then. All right, but yeah, 2 is my favorite. Manu. Anyway, you'll repost the Wesker outtakes thing later. It's short but hilarious. Sweet. The Fat Gamer, if you can be the protagonist of any Resident Evil game, what Resident Evil game are you surviving? That's... Shit. It's like... I would go with... If you can be the protagonist of any Resident Evil game, what Resident Evil game are you surviving? Honestly, I would go with Resident Evil 2 as Leon. Yeah. My favorite game of all time, so the protagonist of it doesn't change my answer. All right, go ahead,
I
Furio.
would be the same thing actually.
Resident Evil 2, playing as
Hmm.
Leon. All right. Hellmaster, have we ever seen the fan-made game that's still in production called Resident Evil Cold Blood? I have not seen that.
Isn't that the 3D recreation of Resident Evil Gaiden? I heard somebody was doing a 3D remake of that game.
Oh. Wow. I don't know, but if that's the case, that is kind of interesting.
Let me look that up. Oh, it's a mod for Half-Life.
Oh, okay. All right, Manu, here you are having never tried Domino's, but you like bashing it just for fun. Probably should try it anyway. Maybe, I mean, like, it does have a, like, a long historical rep. um, there was a phase where it tasted like cardboard way too much. That's all I could really say about it negatively. Eldest Boat, Little Caesars used to have a good crazy bread. I don't know if they still have it. I think they do. I haven't had Little Caesar myself in some time, but I do remember the crazy bread. Everyone's talking about pizza in this section. Last time Silent Pain had Little Caesars, got pretty bad diarrhea for almost half a day. So Little Caesars is definitely low quality pizza. It's cheap. That's why people buy it. AG22, been super busy lately, but glad to have made this Q&A. Take care and stay safe. You too, man. Glad you were able to attend. Manu, thoughts on a canonical Resident Evil title where you actually play as an antagonist as the main character? Most likely game of such a sort would be playing as Hunk, honestly. And I would be all for that. I would be all for that.
Yeah, I would like to know more about Hunk.
Now, hypocritically enough, I did bag on Operation Raccoon City because you play as the antagonist in that. That's different. It's like you're playing as Umbrella actively in that situation. A Resident Evil game as a villain, it's a new plot line. It could be a former villain for all we know. There's my argument with that, in case anyone was about to slap that on me. Eldest Boat. If we could suddenly fly, what would we do and where would we go first? Going to Tokyo, Japan to start off. That's mine.
I'd be going right to Ireland.
Ireland, nice. What would we do? I would go up to like about 15,000 feet and soar over
I would
cities.
obviously get over my fear of heights.
All right. Hellmaster, if we ever made a melee weapon from Resident Evil Outbreak, what would it be? Like, aside from what can already be made. Shoot. Let me think about that. With all the melee weapons available. Make a spike ball, combining the concrete piece with knives or something like that. There you go.
I'd make the same thing just so I can throw something that would really cause damage to zombies.
Or if you can attach like a chain or a string to it, you have yourself a little makeshift Morning Star.
Or you mean a mace?
Or mace. Yeah. What's the difference between a mace and a Morning Star?
Oh, well, I mean, I know a mace is a spike ball on a chain on a stick.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm getting them confused because that's exactly what I'm thinking. I just thought it was called a Morning Star. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, see, the Morning Stars, based on Google Images, that's exactly what I was thinking. Mace. Mace weapon. Oh. I think the sheer difference is whether it's a solid stick or a chain, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's swinging around, it's a Morning Star. If it's just a blunt weapon, that's a mace. Yeah.
Oh, so I always thought the chain spike ball was a mace. Okay. Well, then it would be a Morning Star.
Yeah. So yeah, I would do either or, a mace or a Morning Star. Yeah. Alrighty. So in that case, it would be three different weapons you combine, like a stick or an iron pipe, a chain or string, or no, the concrete piece and a string, and yeah, knives. All right, moving on. That was a good question. Africa Johnson, which Resident Evil game had the best side modes to us? Side modes. Resident Evil 4 had some really good ones. Separate Ways, Assignment Ada, and the Mercenaries. Um, as well as Resident Evil 7 Biohazard with all the DLC modes that they released thereafter. Those were all pretty good. So, overall, I will go with 4. I think 4 had the best side modes.
For me, it would be a tie between 5 and 7.
5 and 7.
5 because there was a good blend of like of like online play with mercenaries. If you wanted to play, it's most fun playing mercenaries with a partner, obviously.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted something with a little more survival horror, and you wanted to learn more about what happened during Jill and Chris's mission at the Spencer estate, there would be the Lost in Nightmares.
All right, that's good. Yeah, Lost of Nightmares was probably like my favorite thing to play in 5, like when comparing it to the rest of the franchise, because that's the most horror-oriented mode in that game.
Me and Goro played through that in took only 20 minutes.
Nice. All right. Feargale, do I think Jill, Sheva, Josh, and many other people left the BSAA since they started using bioweapons? um, if I mean, depending on how that got reported and how the news spread, I have no idea. It's like I wouldn't be surprised because none of those people should be associating with bioweapons after what all of them went through. So, yeah, no, I think they left if it got reported since. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Silent Pain. Joe Baker is the best fighter you can see happening. Yeah. Manu. Chris Redfield versus Joe Baker, fists only. That has definitely gotten asked before. But I'll entertain you. If Joe doesn't have the AMGs, Chris is going to win, I think. While Joe, man, has probably been fisting punching bags for a long time, Chris has actual experience fisting BOWs, so punching BOWs and boulders. So I'm gonna go with Chris ultimately. Imagine Chris with those AMGs and his haymaker. Oh my god, overkill, big time. Eldest Boat, relating to Resident Evil 4 VR. Have we played VR games before, and if so, did it make me motion sick? I have never played a VR game in my life to this date.
Okay, so two things. One, yes, I have played a good amount of VR. I played Resident Evil 7 VR, Blood and Truth, The Room, and Dark Matter. Second, apparently Resident Evil 4 VR is going to be a bit censored. Facebook is actually wanting to censor out some of the quote unquote problematic lines.
All right. Considering I didn't like the 3D from the Nintendo 3DS, part of me wonders if I actually wouldn't enjoy VR for similar reasons. But considering that's the game straight in your eyes and it's not 3D, at the same time, I think I would enjoy it as well too. All right, Manu, if we could add ourselves somehow as a self-insert as a character in the Resident Evil universe, how do we think it how do we think we'd fare like? Okay, if we could somehow add ourselves as a self-insert as a character in the Resident Evil universe, how do you think we'd fare? I don't know. See, I always go off of the knowledge I have of the games already and like shoehorning myself in it with that knowledge already. So, in a brand new scenario where I've never been in before and we have to survive a whole ordeal, I honestly don't see myself faring very well at all. I'm not a combative person whatsoever.
I would take my time to study whatever new threat I'm facing.
Oh man. You would study. So, do you think you would take a back seat a lot then in combat situations?
Sometimes, but I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty if need be.
Right. Yeah, I'll definitely fire a gun if I have to, but yeah, I definitely won't be in the front. All right, Hellmaster, to me specifically, would I ever play any Resident Evil game with keyboard controls instead of using a gamepad? Yeah, I would get around to it in the future. Like, one day I'm going to download Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 0 on Steam and play those games there. And it might not be a bad idea just to get used to the standard keyboard controls and, like, actually do some PC gaming for once. So, yeah, will I ever play a game with a keyboard? Absolutely. Technically, I already have. Because when I first set up my emulators, I didn't have my controllers set up yet, so I had to use the keyboard controls. So yeah, no one's ever seen me actually play with a keyboard. All right. Oops. That was an accident.
Oh!
Alright, see what I said? Eldispo, wait.
Africa Johnson.
Yeah, thank you. I have to go back. I had to scroll back up. Okay, here we go. Blonde Jill or brunette Jill? Brunette, easily. I don't like blonde Jill at all. I thought that was a fuck up. That was Wesker's doing. We all know it. Eldest Bo, if we had to do a real life version of the Mercenaries, which game's Mercenaries are you gonna going guns blazing into? Which game's Mercenaries are my going guns blazing? Public Assembly on Resident Evil 5. Mercenaries. Yep. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, same here.
It's one of my favorites of all time. Alright, I keep... trying to do something. I'm trying to indent, and it keeps actually sending it. Man, I'm looking like a fool now. Silent Pain. Out of all the horror movies I've seen so far, which one had the grossest visual effects, CG or otherwise? The grossest visual effects out of all horror movies I've ever seen. Grossest visual effects. It's probably, it's honestly probably the 9th Friday the 13th movie. It's called Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday. That one is utterly disgusting. Freaking people eating hearts. Ugh. Oh my god. Oh god. There's a horrible scene in it.
For me, I think. You know what? I guess all the stuff I've seen in horror movies is rather tame.
All right. Just real quick, I just want to do something. So because once I do this, I will be done. I promise. It's like I just got to get something off my chest. Okay. All right. Keep this in the chat for about 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there. All right. So think twice next time, Wyatt. All right. Now let's get back on track here. Personally, okay, Manu Carrotman, because you keep seeing other questions and getting ideas, would we prefer flight or teleportation ability? You personally would go with teleport full stop. All right. Flight or teleportation? Teleportation, myself. I feel like it would be quicker with the teleportation. Do you prefer flight or teleportation, Fairgale?
Teleportation, because if I had to go a long distance, I would prefer teleport.
All right. Yep. See. Would visit all of your friends out of nowhere effortlessly, right? Like I pop in at Fairgale's house right now and appear behind him. That would be cool. But God, if that were the case, I'm sure Wyatt would appear behind me and slash my throat right now. What personally, really, Resident Evil 4 and REA. Silent Pain, personally, you don't have much hand dexterity, so you would have to go with the mace. You just end up whipping yourself with the chain more often than not, right? On a Morning Star. All right. Okay. Getting some more questions. I like that. Africa Johnson, yeah, they think RE5 had the best side modes. Cool. Manu, thoughts on having an actual sword, spear, whip, etc. as a usable melee weapon in a Resident Evil game? You know there's the katana in Rev 2 for reference, but still. And one of the creatable weapons in Outbreak is actually a spear, using a wooden pole and a butcher's knife. But yeah, as a usable melee weapon, it would be cool to have. Like, not even as an unlockable, but as an actual just pick up weapon for the game. It's like right out of the gate, like a spear or something. Would be kind of interesting.
That actually was an idea I had as part of my DLC idea for Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, would have been nice, actually, probably. Especially versus mode. Wow, shit. Out of all the side modes in Resident Evil 5, unfortunately, Versus was my least favorite. Eldest Boat, did we play a lot of Resident Evil 5's online Versus mode? And if so, speak of the devil, did we enjoy it, or did I think it was clunky and trash? Well, I literally just answered that question before I even saw it. That's funny. That answers my question. I did not enjoy it. I don't think it was trash or clunky. I'm not the type. I don't like versus games where I'm going against other players like that on a game that was originally built to be co-op. So, yeah, that's why I gripe it.
I only played versus one time only.
Oh wow.
It was okay.
All right. All right, here we go. Fair Gale. Have I seen any videos of people actually shooting the Smith & Wesson M500? The real thing kicks harder than you think. Yeah, I've definitely seen videos. Also, which Resident Evil character would give the best fart? That's funny. See, for you, it'd be... You know, out of all the Resident Evil characters, Barry does fit along those lines for some reason. I don't know why. So I agree with you on that one. It'll be Barry Burton. All right. Africa Johnson, who do we think would win in a fight? Chris Redfield or Leon S. Kennedy? It's clear that Capcom has thought of the same thing thanks to that one cutscene in Resident Evil 6. And see, just like that cutscene, I feel like they're evenly matched and neither could defeat the other.
Yeah, same here. I was thinking the same thing, actually.
Like, Leon has more kicks.
The same amount of hell.
Leon has more kicks, Chris has more punches.
They have the same amount of experience.
But yeah. But it evens out, I feel like.
Uh-huh.
Manu. Quote, Chris has actually experienced fisting BOWs. Unquote. Oh no, stop. But yeah, him with AMGs sounds scary as fuck. Boulders stay back. Oh yeah. Eldest Boat. Have we heard of a 3DS game titled something like Project X Zone 2, which featured Leon and Claire? You want to play it because of Yakuza characters are in it. I haven't heard of such a game, but I definitely know that there are plenty of games out there that use assets from other game franchises like that, and I think it's really interesting. But no,
I know of a snowboarding game that I know of a snowboarding game I think Capcom worked on that features Resident Evil 2 Leon and Claire as well as a zombie.
Oh man. I remember you mentioning that recently, actually. I feel like in recent Discord sessions.
I don't think I mentioned it at all, actually.
I swear I heard something involving snowboarding in Resident Evil, like in the last month or so. Maybe it wasn't from you then. It was from someone else, possibly. Hellmaster, Chris with those metal fists and the haymaker? That enemy is Ash, just disintegrated. Eldest Boat. It's a crossover game of many Capcom-type characters. Oh, awesome.
Oh, okay.
Silent Pain. By the way, if you don't say much, you're editing images while listening to this. That's cool, man. Feargale, would I say that our friendship has come a long way? Oh yeah, man. Since the first time I saw you come across the channel, hell yeah. I've learned a lot about you. You're one hell of an entertaining dude. And, like, yeah, I love your zombie kill questions. And see, you being a guest on this Q&A, you are doing very, very well at avoiding a mistake that Wyatt made. And that's extending the stream by doing a whole fucking discussion on a single question. You don't waste your time. You just answer and that's it. Move on. That's how I like it. All right. Urban Chaos. Africa Johnson. Oh, that one question. It's like if you did a real life mercenaries mode, it's like where would you go guns blazing? They would go Urban Chaos and RE6? Cool. Matt, the only thing about 6 mercenaries I don't like, it does get very tedious when you're getting closer to that 150 combo. The enemies just freaking, they're trying so hard to break your combo.
Wait, are you saying that in RE6 Mercenaries, getting hit breaks your combo?
No, it'll put you in stun lock, and you could lose the combo because of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I'm thinking of those long, exaggerated, like when you get shot from by a zombie wielding an elephant killer, it takes forever to get back up. But then again, you just got hit with a fucking 500 Magnum bullet, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if, by random chance, a zombie with an elephant killer got you in the head and it insta killed you?
Yeah, that would be. That would be pretty funny and like screwed up at the same time.
And even better, it would be a decap. You would be decapitated.
Wow. Haven't seen a good like a good decapitation death like since Resident Evil 4, really. You know, getting your head chopped off in some way.
Or chainsaw it off.
Chainsaw it off, yeah. All
Ugh.
right. Anyway, Silent Pain, kind of podcast style.
I think he's referring to how this Q&A is like.
Oh yeah, yeah. It basically is more or less.
I kind of see what you mean.
Hellmaster, if Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries was multiplayer, would we both enjoy it more? Yeah. Would enjoy it a lot more. I would help everybody who doesn't want to get the hand cannon get the hand cannon. I would help you guys, because I can do it. I've done it 4 times.
Maybe if Resident Evil 4 Remake includes Mercenaries, maybe they'll grant people the ability to play with other people.
Yeah.
That would be nice. That'd be hella nice.
It would be nice if someone got the technology and the funds and resources to go back into every single Resident Evil game and add a multiplayer element in it. Imagine just like this free mode where you're just playing through like the original games. As long as it's like you can't leave the room unless the other person is right next to you, it would make sense. But imagine going through like the mansion or the RPD together.
Actually, believe it or not, there does exist a mod there actually exists a multiplayer mod for the first game. One player could play as Chris and the other would play as Jill.
Really?
Yes. And the best part, the mode is played in real time.
Man. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I only saw a clip. I only saw a single clip of it, but I've been wanting to research that. But apparently, actually, as a matter of fact, I think it was a known fact about the original Resident Evil was that there was to originally be a multiplayer mode for the first game.
Wow. Well, see, they got Battle Game with the Sega Saturn port, but of course, the first known multiplayer in Resident Evil, I believe. Okay, well, there's a difference between like 2-player split screen and online co-op, you know.
But, oh no, it wouldn't even be split screen. This wasn't even split screen, believe it or not.
I do believe that because both characters can be on the screen. So yeah, I can see that happening. My question is, it's like, what happens though couldn't one person wander off the screen since the camera angle is not going to change?
Well, yeah, that's
where
correct.
It wouldn't work. Yeah. You would have to like be in the same frame all the time for it to work better. Yeah. But if they made it online, of course, then it could work because then you have your individual screens. But that would be really interesting if one day someone made that happen somehow. Who knows? It's like we've been able to visually enhance 20-plus-year-old games like they almost belong into today. So I feel like a lot of things are possible.
Yeah, true. Very true. Like someone actually was able to was able to remake the very first Resident Evil if it was made by the RE engine.
See, that's what I really want. That's something I really want. Like, before the 4 make. Alright. We digressed for a bit there. Let's get back to the questions. Let's see. Here we go. Feargale, zombie kill. Have it get eaten by a shark or stomped on by an elephant? I'll take the stomp. The elephant stomp. Oh yeah, because the shark is just going to drag it underwater, and then I'm not going to see it again. So I'm not even going to visually see the death very much.
Well, the shark can bite its head off.
It could. I think I still prefer the stomp though. Manu, damn, I might have accidentally invented. I may have invented accidental trolling. Yeah, because I retracted it twice. Hellmaster, people eating hearts? You don't know if this is in the movie or you're thinking of the boogeyman. Yeah. It's just this one grotesque scene in Jason Goes to Hell that unfortunately is burned into my mind and I can't get rid of.
Isn't there also a scene where some dude freaking melts down?
In Jason Goes to Hell, not that I can think of off the top of my head. There is an instance of that occurring in Seed of Chucky. Like their phosphoric acid gets on them or something like that. But yeah. Eldest Boat. I mentioned getting rid of Q&As since the stuff with Wyatt. Am I still planning on doing that or maybe just shortening it to an hour instead of getting rid of it altogether? It ultimately depends on how the rest of the Q&As. Right now, I am still set on concluding these in May of next year for a total of 5 years of Q&As. No 3 years of monthly Q&As bullshit like Wyatt wanted. But, no. Just the overall 5-year anniversary Q&As I think would be a great place to end it. This Q&A right now, I'm afraid to say it doesn't seem to be as good as the last Q&A just in terms of participants and flow. But it's still loads better than a Q&A I had with Wyatt. It's just, I would take anything over that damn Sea of Blue, honestly. Anyway, we digress once again. So yeah, to answer your question, right now, no, they are still set to end one day. They have to get really, really good from here on out if I'm going to continue them. So honestly, stuff like this, I would much rather do with anyone who's willing to join me in my Discord server, honestly. It's like, after they're done on YouTube, these will end up on the Discord, more or less. And in a better way, too. Alright. Manu, ha! Eldest Boat, fight fire with fire, shots fired. Fairgale, would I say that Lady Dimitrescu is somewhat like Sadler as she's able to mutate and go back into human form on her own will? Yeah, she is a lot like Sadler in that regard. Alright, Africa Johnson, who was our favorite Resident Evil partner we worked with in my video? Oh, so this is for me specifically, really. So who was my favorite Resident Evil partner I worked with in my videos? Wow, okay. Well, I can definitely tell you my least favorite was Wyatt. Let's see. The best ones to this day, I mean, we're talking people who helped out years ago already, like with the melee move videos per se. I see. I like how you mentioned Jesus X11. He was one of the earliest helpers with my content. He was featured on the channel very early on, like as early as 2011. I haven't talked to him in like 6 or 7 years, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not that much. I played Revelations 2 with him before, so it had to have been as... Okay, maybe 2016, so maybe 5 years. I exaggerated. 5. It's been about 5 years or so since I played with him, or since I communicated with him. I think I am still friends with him actually on Xbox. He doesn't go by
Yeah,
Jesus X11 though anymore.
yeah, because you meant, I think you said, I think I remembered in a part in your full play of Remake that there was a notification that he was online. But he went under a different name.
Yeah, it's like TGS or TTG logos or something like that. Anyway, yeah, I haven't communicated with him in a while. But yeah, he was one of the best partners I had at the time. He helped out with quite a few videos. Um Let me see though. There are a few others worth mentioning. Mad Attacked was also a really good person. He helped out with the entirety of the Resident Evil 6 melee moves videos. Um, he also helped out with a couple others. Um, there were a ton of partners throughout those melee vids. Honestly, it's Jesus X11 and Mad Attack are the only ones who really stand out. No offense to all the others.
Hmm.
Overall, who would I ultimately regard as the best partner I ever had? Oh, Mad Attacked. I'm going with Mad Attacked.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, him helping with overall with 6 did me a lot of favors, honestly. Like, so much so it's stuck ever since then. So that's who I'm gonna go with. Mad Attacked. He hasn't commented on anything himself in a while. I don't know if he still watches me, but definitely shout out to him if if he's still around. All right, got that one. Eldispo, you remember when you played RE5 Versus, you got spammed with freeze rounds and got your ass blown off by a Magnum. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. just those little nuances you could do. It's what made that mode so brutal. A very common maneuver that I actually used was to throw an incendiary grenade at the player and then quick shot them with a rocket launcher. Yeah, that would usually get them instantly. All right. Manu Carrotman, do we think the 21 minigame in Resident Evil 7 would have been cool if it had multiplayer feature? Maybe, because then it's like a one-on-one with 21.
Yeah, it actually would be interesting.
Totally. Hellmaster, would we ever shoot a Resident Evil Magnum? What would it be? I'm definitely shooting in Smith & Wesson M500 if I ever get the opportunity.
It would be Barry's Magnum because it obviously gave us the first headshot.
The Colt. So what's interesting is in the original Resident Evil game, Barry's Magnum is the Colt Python. It's like it's exactly the same. You don't even get to use it, unlike the remake. So you're essentially saying the Colt Python from Resident Evil 1 would be the Magnum you shoot.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess you maybe his Colt Python was customized to fire 44 Magnum rounds.
Maybe. It's unfortunate we'll never know since they never made that weapon available to fire with the player character. So it's like, in that context, probably be Barry's Magnum from Remake would be a good candidate for that. But otherwise, moving on. Eldest Bow, which Resident Evil rocket launcher is our favorite? Not including super weapons like the cannon from the end of Code Veronica. Oh, I see, like the linear launcher. So favorite Resident Evil rocket launcher.
All right, well that saves me the trouble of asking that one.
See, look at you. You're being nice about it. Unlike Wyatt, who'd be like, sorry, that's my question. You don't get to answer it until it's my rendition.
Screw you, that's my question.
Anyway, favorite rocket launcher in the series. Whew, that's a good one because See, of course, I like the RPG-7 that was featured in 4, 5, and 6. But I do also love that 4-barreled rocket launcher, like the M, what's it called? The M66 or the M2021 or
M202.
202. There you go. Yep. It's really close between those two because I just like the style of that rocket launcher. It's featured in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Commando.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I'm going with the M202 ultimately.
Hey, I actually have a weapon idea that it would be. This rocket launcher would be called the M303.
Oh boy.
Instead of 4 barrels, it's 9.
9. Oh my god. That is ridiculous. That's like a Stinger missile unit at that point.
It would be.
All right. Manu, idea for a melee weapon in Resident Evil. Spiked chain. No mace, just the spiked chain. Thoughts? A spiked chain. Okay. So it's like a whippable spiked weapon, more or less. You can shred this shit up, provided you don't shred your own arm.
I have seen a kill. I actually have seen that happen in The Walking Dead, where Daryl uses this set of chains and whips the heads off not one but 3 walkers.
Wow. Dude.
Freaking went Ghost Rider on them.
Oh, yeah. All right. Eldest Boat. You still remember Wyatt's PlayStation rant? Shake your head. Damn straight,
Yeah.
man. He way overbagged on that thing. It's like, it's one thing when you have a negative opinion. It's another thing when you're constantly putting it in people's faces. It's like, we don't care. We don't all agree, and you're not right. You're just opinionized. All right. Stealing. Reverse headshot, Manu said in reference to what you suggested, I think, Fairkill. So stealing Feargill's question just for one question, zombie kill. Would we rather have it launched into the sun or teleported to Mars where it gets ripped apart by aliens? If we have a visual feed of either of these happening, I would actually send it to Mars and witness it getting shredded by Martians.
Yeah, same.
Same. Awesome. Manu, you know you can get decapitated in Resident Evil 7, but it's first person, so you see the perspective of the head falling. That is true. Jack can decapitate you with his little scissor like weapon that he created. And it is kind of interesting, that fact that you just get your head gets like lifted off your neck or something, whatever. I don't know what happens. But oh my gosh. Silent Pain, what's the name of this multiplayer mod for Resident Evil 1? That sounds interesting. I think it was that other reference.
What I brought up. I don't even. I haven't done any research on this, so I don't know what it's called.
And yeah, if it's like even available for everybody right now. Let's see. Here we go. What was Wyatt's PlayStation rant? You wasn't there to hear it. He just shat on Sony and PlayStation all the time. It's like not even sharing an opinion here and there. He would just go off and say, just call it Soy Station all the time. It's like I can't even really be specific on what he was doing. He wasn't.
He insulted my favorite game of all time, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, basically he wasn't respecting the fact that other people still like it. That's a great way to put it. He had zero respect for other people's opinions and thought his was the only one that mattered. Yeah. All right. But yeah, man, it's like, yeah, that is the unfortunate thing. I took down every single Q&A that had him featured, thankfully so you'll never get to see what went down, at least in the Q&As. But yeah, it was trashy. Manu, if we remade the original Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 weapon review, which will happen one day, would I try getting the PC versions that had extra machine guns so it's complete? For the original Resident Evil game, chances are that's out of my hands at this point. Because apparently the PC version of the original Resident Evil is extremely difficult to find these days. And I don't even know if I would get it to work on my PC, considering it's a CD-ROM game made in 1997 or 6. So, I really don't know if I'll be able to. However, no, there has to be a way, because speedrunners are still doing it. Speedrunners are still playing the PC version of Resident Evil 1. There has to be a special edition somewhere, somehow, to where I play that version of it. But it's like an online mode.
You could ask someone for... Oh, no, it wouldn't work, because they don't actually show how many... I was going to suggest you could ask someone for permission to use some of their footage.
That is exactly what I would have done, actually. Because...
Really?
That's kind of what I do for the current review that's been up for a decade. But it's not actually featuring clips of it. There are links in the description of that weapon review to that link to videos of it being featured. But yeah, when I redo the weapon review, I would ask someone who has the footage if I could use it in my weapon review, and if I get it approved, then I would show it. And I'll even put their name and credits like in the lower corner, because of my job, I'm very good at crediting people. I work at a news station, so we're getting stories from multiple sources all the time. So it's just my job to do that, really. So, yeah, that's what I would do ultimately if I can't get myself feature footage of the PC version. I feel like there has to be a way, though. All right. That was a good question. But ultimately, for all that original trilogy, what I will use an emulator for sure to get the best possible graphics. Especially 2 and 3 right now. The seamless HD versions, those are the versions I'm going to use when I do it. And it's going to be so great. I just want to feature those games on this channel, like in general. I want to play the seamless HD versions of those 2 games and feature it. All right. The only good Sea Blue is the one on the RE8 map. Manu, that's perfect. Me trying to make the entire thing blue. That was a struggle, man. Okay, Oh, I see. Eldispo 015. Thoughts on older post RE6 Leon being in future games? Would he look significantly older? Keep the same voice actor as 2-make? Or maybe still RE6 voice? I feel like they should just stick with Nick Apostol... whatever... however you pronounce it.
Apostolite.
Yeah, I suck at pronouncing his name. But, yeah, the remake's voice actor and Infinite Darkness, for that matter. Yeah, I think it should just stick with Nick for a while. But as for Leon's look in the game, if it's a current event, like real time, he better look older than he did in Vendetta, because right now, that's the latest rendition of him, is Vendetta. His aging was... He doesn't look old at all, still. He looks like a middle-aged adult in that one, but his age is slightly coming in, so I would hope to see maybe a few gray hairs on him in a new game. It would be kind of interesting, actually. To see him get closer and closer to being at the status of an advisor than an actual, combatant in the field, That's what I want with Chris, too. I want him to become an advisor and stop, and, well, not necessarily stop, but just avoid being in the field too much.
Yeah, true.
I just want him to become Clive R. O'Brien, like how he was. Alrighty. Good questions, good questions. Uh, Sour Dip Malik. Not sure if I've seen you before. Welcome to the Q&A. Give the review of Resident Evil 7 main game plus DLCs and Resident Evil 8 because both are connected. If you're talking about weapons, I already have Resident Evil 7's review established, so that won't happen. But no, I don't agree. They are different games entirely. 7 and 7's DLC can be together, but 8 has to be separate from 7. Manu Carrotman, since red is my favorite color, it's actually pretty ironic that the playthrough had such a big issue with red rooms. Isn't it?
Which game?
8 Village. When I was doing the blind Let's Play, remember my objective was to clear every room?
Oh, right.
Make the red rooms blue is what I needed to do. Feargale, have any of my cats ever got in the way of recording videos, whether it's recording audio or video? You never watched my weapon review for Gaiden, have you?
Oh, you know what? Maybe I now I remember.
But yeah, there was one time where Naomi, my cat, did interfere with my recording just a little bit. It's like I didn't have to do what I did. She was just getting behind my computer, and I was worried she was gonna step on a cable and like turn the power off or something. So I was like, "Get out of there!" And then you heard a bunch of like ruffling and whatnot of cables rubbing against my mic or something like that. And yeah, that was the only time she ever interfered. Otherwise, most of the time, you know what? Speaking of her, I need to let her out of the room. She's been in there for an hour.
Oh, they're both there.
The two cats that you're... Do you hear me right now?
Barely.
Okay. Well, so as you guys can see, this is Tally, the big gray one, and this is Mo, black and white. Neither of these cats are mine. These are both Jen's cats. But she's not gonna be happy that I'm doing this. Alright. Here's good old Naomi. This is my cat.
There she is.
She doesn't want to face the camera at all. She's a little perturbed right now because I carried her over here. There you go. Normally, when she's out here just wandering when I'm doing stuff like this, she'll actually stand on her hind legs and, like, put her legs up on my knee. It's pretty cute.
Well, I guess when we're out talking about cats, here's mine.
Hey. What's her name again?
Daphne.
Daphne, there you go.
Yep. Here she is.
Look at her back of her head.
You.
All right. We have 10.5 minutes left on the timer. So, cool. All right. All right. Moving back. Eldest Boat. Do we prefer potato chips or corn chips? And which is our favorite? Doritos, Lay's, Takis, Munchos, etc. I prefer potato chips myself. And my favorite brand is Lay's. Ironically enough.
I prefer Doritos.
Doritos. Nice.
Obviously, one of the original gamer snacks.
Definitely. All right. Beergale, have we heard that someone has begun crafting an emulator for PS4? Some Ordinary Gamers, the channel, covered this. Wow. A PS4 emulator, man, that's pretty recent. It's like...
It's very much still in work in progress.
Yeah. It's like, okay, have they established an Xbox 360 and a PS3 emulator yet?
If I'm willing to bet yes.
By now, I would hope so. It's like,
Like, actually, I know there exists emulation for Xbox Live Arcade, because I know of a YouTuber by the name of Grazlu00, and
oh, of course.
he plays a lot of GoldenEye.
I
And
actually has seen his content and his mods of GoldenEye.
yeah, he played a good amount of the XBLA version of GoldenEye
Mm,
through an emulator.
okay.
So if Xbox Live Arcade is emulated, then it's most definitely possible that there's already an emulator for 360,
Okay. I
and
never
most
myself
likely PS3.
looked, but it's like at this point, most games that even came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360 have been reported, of course, to One and PS4 and beyond for like HD remasters or something like that. So I don't know if I'll ever need an emulator for 360 or PS3, honestly. But it's like the only reason I can come up with is I can come up with a reason for a PS3 emulator to play Darkside Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles in HD because they came out on the PS3. They were ported
Mm-hmm.
and in much better resolution. Um, I don't know though. What if the Dolphin emulator on the Wii cranks it out better than the PS3 emulator could? You know, because the Dolphin is a really well-renowned emulator for both the Wii and the GameCube. Um, so it's tough choices, and it's like I did a comparison one time, or I looked up a comparison of Resident Evil 4, the GameCube version on a Dolphin emulator versus the Steam Ultimate HD version. Um, the Steam Ultimate HD still came out on top.
Mm.
So it's like emulation can only go so far to increase the graphics, but a totally like remastered from the ground up by a development team will probably always fare better.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, it is a good question whether the Dolphin emulator emulating the Wii version of Chronicles versus a PS3 emulator emulating the PS3 version. I don't know. What I do know though is there's a mod or a Game Shark code or something when using the Dolphin emulator with Umbrella Chronicles at least, where you can play the game in 60 frames per second. Yeah. The PS3 I doubt can do that. I'm not sure it can do that.
Hmm.
All right. Anyway, get off that subject. It's a good subject. Um, have So yeah, to answer your question, that would be crazy if we're already on the verge of a PS4 emulator. Clearly, online capabilities are probably iffy when it comes to emulators, but yeah. Okay, Eldispo, are you able to play an instrument, and if so, what is it, and what songs do I like to play? So, technically, there are only two instruments I ever learned to play remotely, and that was the recorder and an acoustic guitar, or guitar for that matter. I didn't get very far in either. What songs do I like to play on the recorder? It's Old MacDonald Had a Farm. uh, yeah. On the guitar, it's actually a Christmas song from John Lennon. It's like This Is Christmas or something like that.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Happy Christmas. I actually know the chords to that. But yeah, it's been so long. What about you, Fergo?
I once tried playing the cello for a few weeks. It didn't work out well.
Okay. So did you even make it to a whole song?
No, not even.
Okay. Aldous Boat as well. Which chainsaw enemy is our favorite in the series? Dr. Salvador, Double Chainsaw Salvador, also known as Super Salvador. That one thing from RE6, the Ubistfo. Chainsaw Majini, Jack Baker, even the Skagdead. Yeah. So favorite saw chainsaw type enemy, which is definitely been asked before, but that's cool. My favorite is Super Salvador from Resident Evil 4. I think it's just hilarious how he just knocks your head right off. That's it.
My favorite would have to be Jack and his scissor saw.
Oh yeah. Hellmaster, speaking of RE7 with Jack's head decapitation on Ethan, I can lose my hands too if we block without picking up the chainsaw. Oh, little bit of detail I remember. Do you die though, or do you just get your hands chopped off? Because we all know at this point Ethan can survive limbs being torn. Man, Silent Pain. Do I have any good memories of Wyatt, or are they all bad, mediocre? Okay, yeah, of course I have some good memories with him. Because of him, I got to see New York, so that is a good thing I'll never hold against him. I'm trying to think of good stuff. You know, as frustrating as he was sometimes when we played the games together in those live streams, those were fun little collabs I had. I'm just playing the games in general. They were far better than the Q&As. Trying to think of other ones. See, this is bad. The fact that it's hard for me to pluck out good memories now. I have a major detest for him. The meals he treated me to, of course, were good. See, I don't want to come off as an asshole if I say I enjoyed everything he gave me. Because those were gifts, those were on his own accord. I don't owe him anything because of it. So yeah, I did enjoy all the dinners he treated me and Jen too. And it's like the merch he's left. That's about it. It's like something I want to make out right now. It's like there were a couple like random accounts that have been commenting since our severance, and we could always assume it was him. However, it's hard for me to believe because those accounts were created like a good year or so before our severance, and it's not the first time they've commented on my channel. They've commented before our severance. So I'm starting to think there's just a few trolls who follow my channel who took this occurrence and played on it, basically, pretending to be him. So I'm not super sure. That super chat that we got earlier, revealing my address, obviously that's him, because he's one of the only people who knows my address.
Even I don't know where he lives.
Yeah, see. Let's see. But where I'm going with this is those two channels, they said the same thing, and it was a reply to, I believe, CJ's comment or someone's comment on the Q&A the last Q&A after the fact, or no, let me see. It might have been on a community post or the tier list. But anyway, both of them said this, which was kind of fire, I will admit. It's like still living rent free in your head, I see. So that's just saying we can't seem to let Wyatt go. And see, I will admit you're probably right about that. He made such a stain on this channel that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard just to forget about him. And he was such a douchebag from the moment I severed things with him that, yeah, he has it coming. As long as he keeps providing us ammunition to fire at him, we'll keep doing it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Otherwise, I don't tend to bring him up. He brings himself up or someone else brings him up. All right, that was the timer that was going off, if anyone was wondering. So the last canonical question that I will answer will be Manu Carrotman's how to curse RE4 the entire game, but every enemy is a Super Salvador. Oh boy. Okay, that'll be the last question we answer. All right, so let's just catch up and get this over with. Wait. Oh, You're right. That's not a question. That's an answer. How to curse Resident Evil 4. The entire game is an enemy Super Salvador. Okay, then it's your question, Fairgale. You have the last canonical question. Good for you. All right. So back to where we were. Okay, that was the chainsaw one we answered. Shit. It forced me to the bottom. Okay, here we go. Silent Pain, yeah, Resident Evil 1 CD version would not play well with Windows 10 at all. Very understandable. You don't even have compatibility like ways. There's the whole compatibility mode that Windows have, but I don't think it goes back to 95 or 98. I'm not sure. Eldest
It
Boat
only goes as far back as XP.
Ah, see. Eldest Boat, Windows or Mac? Windows. All the way.
Same here, Windows.
Birgel, have I heard of the game Plague Incorporated? No, I haven't.
It's a game where you control a pathogen in which your goal is to wipe out the world.
Oh man. Your goal is to wipe out the world. So are you regarded as a protagonist or an antagonist?
Technically the antagonist.
Okay. Alright. Eldest Boat. In a real-life super difficult zombie apocalypse, just a little blood in your mouth or eyes or cuts turns you into a zombie. So yeah, real life, like the movies. What weapons would we use to avoid blood splatter? Oh man. Do those like dum-dum rounds have anything to do with that? It's where it like flattens on impact, so it causes more damage internally and it won't exit. Maybe something like that. Something with dum-dum rounds. Is there honestly a way? Can you honestly use a weapon without splattering blood, though? I mean, you could use like
Maybe
poison
a
or
grenade
something,
launcher
but
with acid.
right, yeah.
Because that would actually melt a zombie without causing any blood splatter. Or torching a zombie. In fact, that would actually dry them up a bit.
Oh yeah, there you go. That would work right there. Manu, favorite way to kill Ashley in Resident Evil 4, boring death animations aside. uh, um, leaving her in that one hallway where the guys with the motorized vehicle come after her. Just let her shred her up. Let them shred her up.
Oh, you missed one of my questions.
Oh, I think this is one of those situations where it's listing it in a different order for you. Are you talking about the supporting character question?
Yes. Oh, is it?
It's actually below Manu's question on my end, for some reason.
Oh, well, that's weird. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the next question anyway. Which supporting character do I want to see make a return in a future Resident Evil title? Which supporting character? Billy Cohen. Billy Cohen. Or Carlos Oliveira. Yeah. All right. How are we feeling today? How are I feeling with life? I'm doing fantastic right now with this Q&A and the earlier Discord stuff I was doing. And with life, I mean, I'm content. I have much room for improvement still, but I'm still young, so I'm not too bent over it. Yeah, I'm doing okay overall.
I've been doing well myself. Though the more I hear about what goes on in the world, the more I'm starting to think like Oswald E. Spencer.
Dude, you would hate my job then, because I have to get faced with what's going on in the world every single day. Somewhat. It's like we do local news overall and some national stories, but point is I'm getting news every single day, except on my days off like this. That's when I'm away from the news. One day, guys, I'm going to show everybody like what I do for a living. I almost wanna show that off a little bit. Cause I have a GoPro and I have a strap chest. So I could a chest strap chest. um and so of course I could put the GoPro right on my chest and you guys could actually see me at work with this giant switcher board with 100 buttons and controlling scenes. That's something I might consider one day. Hopefully my work wouldn't freak out, though, because it is copyrighted material.
Copyright material?
Well, our newscasts are copyrighted.
Wait,
So,
what do you mean the newscast?
so because what I do, it's called a technical director. I control a giant switcher board, and I control the scenes that are switching, like, on air. Basically, when it goes from a shot of an anchor introducing a story to a video of that said story, I'm the one who performed that switch.
Yeah. Well, here's a question: does anyone at your job know you have a channel?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few people actually. Key Elements is one of them.
Damn, chances are you might not be able to get away with it.
Yeah, Key Elements and Samuel Moore, who made the tier list, are two coworkers that are at that station.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were coworkers.
Yep, Key Elements.
Oh, then maybe you will get away. Oh, then maybe you will be able to get away with it.
Yeah. I should be able to, because I'm not directly showing the feed that I'm broadcasting. What you guys would see would just be a camera of me on the board, and you would sort of see it on the top part, because there's this giant multi-viewer that has a bunch of screens, including what we're currently broadcasting, and you're going to hear the sound in the background too. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Basically, behind the scenes. Basically,
yes.
You're doing behind the scenes stuff for your job.
Exactly. BTS for Shank at his work. Yeah. All right. Which supporting? No. As a whole. Also, Eldest, Shank, me specifically, what projects, things would I do if my channel became the most subscribed on YouTube? Holy shit. Yeah, everything I'm doing today wouldn't be very good then if I had that many subs. Holy fuck. I would have to cover a subject. I don't even know what I would do, man. That would be very overwhelming. That would be super overwhelming. I think the only thing I could do is just continue what I'm doing and just hope they like it. But man, that's a tough crowd. Alright. Manu. Thoughts on a Resident Evil game so far in the timeline where the main iconic protagonists are straight up old men, no longer able to even fight if they wanted. That'd be kind of depressing, but cool. I mean, 30 years in the future when Resident Evil is still going, if it is, I mean, how can you avoid that? Because all of the iconic characters we know today are going to be old one day, and they're going to be like that, so it's like, if they're trying to fight, that's what's going to be kind of foolish and retarded. But if they're actually in the background as an advisor, like I said, or something, even if they're very old, it would be pretty cool to see, I think.
Except for characters like Sherry, Moira, or Sheva.
I know. Can you even perceive those people right now as elderly folk?
Well, actually,
Sheva would probably still look pretty good, actually. Imagine her with just with gray hair, but still really good skin, you know?
Yeah, true.
Think about that. She's a cougar. Alrighty. Thoughts on... here we go. Eldest Boat. What are our thoughts on a Resident Evil game taking place in medieval times? Knights and wizard and zombie dragons. No. Doesn't work with the timeline.
Although, however, my DLC idea for Resident Evil 8 would kind of take place in would take place at the time the Four Lords,
yeah,
founded the village.
Saradip Malik, we don't see Carlos after RE3. His returning chances is possible or not, because after entering character Chris Redfield, Leon S. Kennedy, Sheva, we don't see him. I know, it has been a long time. We probably never will see him for all we know, but there's still always a chance. I mean, look at after how long Rebecca was missing, they finally brought her back in Vendetta. I feel like anything is possible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we got the cat comments.
Mm.
Jeff Sunshine, aka both Chris and Carlos.
It's Jeff Shine, but maybe it's a autocorrect.
Jeff Shine. So he voices which version of Chris?
Village.
Village. Okay, so he's the current Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlos. And 3 make. In 3 make. Holy shit! I didn't realize those were the same voice actors. When I'm thinking about it now, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh, I thought I told you.
You probably did. I'm sorry, man. My memory is so bad.
Oh my god! I thought I had told you that Jeff Shine. I think I had told you in your blind play. In your blind play of 8.
Okay. Well, that's why I don't remember then, because I was probably too focused on the game to remember it like very shortly thereafter. There's probably
were you trying to put the pieces together when you heard Chris in Village and Carlos in 3 make?
Yeah. That's when I started piecing it together.
Holy shit, I can't believe you. Wow, okay.
I'm sorry. That just goes to show you that my attention span is very small with those gameplay videos. Which is to be expected. Those aren't the Q&As. I look forward to the next time I do a blind playthrough, because doing that without Wyatt's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
No fucking moderation. And freaking bagging on people for horrible reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If a Resident Evil spin-off game... Or no. We can hear the purring. That's funny.
I know, right? He does
Here we
purr
go.
loud.
Here we go. All right. Silent Pain. What kind of monster computer would you need for a PS4 emulator? Definitely a modern one. It would needs to be a 30 series graphics card for sure. You would probably want a minimum of 6 cores for the CPU. I would go 8 even. Other than that, yeah, those were the specs count. You would, like, seriously. Unfortunately, I'm starting to notice, as I'm recording the weapon review currently, even my PC right now is struggling a little bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, when I play back some of the footage, yeah, there's dropped frames everywhere, and yeah, it's not going to be a consistent 60 frames per second, unfortunately. Which, hopefully a lot of people will understand when I release the review, because, I mean, that's a struggle PC gamers deal with on a daily basis, I feel like. Dropped frames, you know? So. Alright. To run Eldest Bow, if a Resident Evil spin-off game was going to be remade, which one would I want to be remade? A spin-off? Outbreak. Definitely Outbreak. A lot of people have been begging for it. Besides Outbreak, Survivor. Wouldn't mind a remake of Survivor in the RE engine. Because it uses the same engine as the original trilogy, which I really love those games. So Survivor getting the same treatment might actually bring it out of the ground a little bit. All right. I just wanted to play every single Resident Evil game in the RE engine, honestly.
Guess I gotta blame you.
All right. Sour Dip. Any chances we play as Rose in future Resident Evil games? I mean, with how RE8 ended, that's also a possibility. And that's also a speculation for DLC for 8 even. So yeah, wouldn't be far-fetched. Manu, F for that canceled GoldenEye XBLA version. Still upset that didn't become a thing. Aw. Right? Damn. Eldest Boat. PS3 emulator for Yakuza Dead Souls. You will have to buy an entire console just for that one game. Yep, we're almost done. The Final Fantasy Silent Pain, the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy was never ported from the PS3, so that would be a good reason for you to try the PS3 emulator. Never got to try it for yourself. Final Fantasy, of course. Only game I ever played was 6 on the SNES. Manu Carrotman, if Rose becomes playable in a future Resident Evil game, how cool would it be to have her, stated but not yet shown, abilities in combat? Ooh, it would be pretty dope because based on just how strong she's towards that one agent that she, like, warned against. Apparently, she has some pretty cool powers. I mean, if Ethan can survive basically anything, what can she do?
Oh, yes.
All right. Manu, you always wanted to play the piano. All right, here's the last question. Feargale, which Resident Evil boss did I find the craziest? The boss fight that I found the craziest. Like any boss fight or final boss?
I mean, final counts, but yeah, any boss.
Okay. Craziest. It's like, define crazy. Is that like a bunch of action, like moving around a bunch? Or
action, make it have a lot of tension, have an insane ending to it.
Okay.
Like for example, the boss fight with Jack when you're fighting with chainsaws.
Right, it is pretty crazy. Let me think about that. You know what? I'm gonna go with a very recent one. The fight against Heisenberg with his artillery. It's like the battle of the machines.
Okay. All right.
I think that one's a good applicant, actually.
All right, nice.
Sweet. All right. Well, that is gonna finally conclude this Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. We went about a little more than 20 minutes of catch-up time. That is still loads better than the catch-up periods we've had in the past. So yeah, these Q&As are very solid without Wyatt. I am not ashamed to admit that. And if you're still watching, you fool, all you can do is watch now and look back on what you did to these Q&As that made everybody agree that you were the reason they were so bad. But anyway, we will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys next time in the next Q&A, of course, since I plan on doing these at least until May of next year. So look forward to November's Q&A. I may make it a special themed one, like maybe a cannabis Q&A again, or a drunk Q&A, or something along those lines. We'll see. And I need to think about maybe doing another late night one at least one more time for the other side of the world's convenience. But yeah. And yeah, I noticed like these early times on the weekend isn't the best for everybody. I can't adhere to everyone's convenience, unfortunately, but I do try to make these different times. So the next Q&A I probably will set at a much later time of day, like maybe near evening for me, to where it's night for some people. We'll see. But anyway, look forward to the next one, and of course, look forward to all other content. The weapon review is actually underway, like a good amount now. I got weapon overviews and testings recorded, and I got a few people who can vouch for that.
Yeah, he sometimes does live productions on Discord.
Yes, if you actually missed the live productions that I discontinued a couple months back, you can sort of catch those again if you go to the Discord. All right, so of course this has been the Shankster94, aka the Gamer Shankster. Rate, comment, subscribe, follow me and Feargale at social media, and those links down below. Those Discord links are our usernames. But in the description, of course, I will provide a link to Shankster's Hub, which is the actual server that we're on. And since its conception, it has been a great place for TGS fans all alike. So please check it out if you guys haven't yet. All right, guys, peace out. We'll see you later.
See you around, everyone.